lighting is when I'm here. But this is a bit uncomfortable talking to you this close. I feel like I need to be here, but sorry about the lighting.
Hello everybody, I hope you're well. I am still in Sydney at the moment, in my bunk, in my hostel. Gonna be here for a little bit longer. I've been travelling by myself in Australia now for about 3 months. Before that, I was travelling in Central America and I was by myself for about 2 months. I've also travelled New Zealand by myself and Fiji by myself, and so I feel like at this point I have a bit of experience on my hand of travelling solo, and I get asked a lot of questions about my tips for backpacking solo, and so that's what I'm going to share with you today. So tip number 1 is that you must get in the mindset that you are the only person that you have to think about. It's very easy when you're making plans to always think about other people. You think, oh, how am I going to have to compromise myself? Like, you don't even realise you're doing it. But when you're travelling solo, you don't have to compromise for anyone else. You need to get into the mindset that literally whatever you want to do, if it is physically possible and ideally legal, you can do it. Absolutely no one is stopping you, no one is judging you, and you've just got to remember that. Tip number 2 is to do a bit of research of the country that you are about to be visiting, just so you're not completely clueless when you arrive, and also have an idea of the budget you should be spending and just things like that. If you're on a time scale, it helps to plan a realistic but rough itinerary that appeals to you, and also perhaps if the country that you're going to does not speak English primarily, to learn the basics of the language. I found especially in Latin America, learning the basics of Spanish is essential if you're backpacking solo. However, tip number 3 is to actually book as little as you can get away with, because although it's good to know about the country that you're visiting, you don't want to make too many plans because you want to be flexible. You want to be able to travel the people that you meet, that you like. You want to be able to get recommendations from them, and you also don't want to limit yourself as to how long you actually stay in a place. If you like it, stay there longer. If you don't, then move quicker. Just try and book as little as possible, because things change all the time on your trip and you're gonna want to be spontaneous when you get out here. Tip number 4 is to not panic if you don't meet people immediately. When people talk about backpacking and backpacking solo, you say, oh, you meet so many people from day one, like you'll be absolutely fine. When the reality is, you are not definitely gonna meet people that you're gonna absolutely click with on your first day. And if that happens, don't worry. Like, maybe it will. Maybe you will meet like your dream team people on your first day, but don't rely on this. Don't expect this to happen. Don't expect that you're gonna be best friends with the first people that you meet. Just be yourself and just meet people how you would naturally. If you don't get along with the first people you meet, don't panic, because trust me, it will come. You will meet people, but is not definitely going to be in the very first place that you go. Number 5 is to not be afraid to ask people if you can join them. The backpacker community is different to regular life. You can literally just walk up to a group of people and ask if you can join them. Obviously, you must appear friendly, smile, don't be overly clingy, and mostly don't expect that they're gonna say yes. I mean, they should say yes, but if you're basically sat down before you even ask them, they're gonna be like, whoa now, who is this sitting with us? The easiest and probably best time to get to know people is over drinks. I would suggest that you always bring your own alcohol and more. It just makes yourself seem more friendly and fun. I know all this is pretty obvious, but it is just something to keep in mind. Tip number 6, if you find yourself borrowing something from someone else more than once, then make sure you buy it for yourself. Travelers are really friendly and they'll let you borrow their stuff if you need it, but at the end of the day, it's their stuff. They bought it for their use, not yours. So if you realize that you're borrowing someone's adapter, for example, more than once, it's time to buy one for yourself. If they're nice, they may not get angry with you, but it is bloody irritating. Just have your own shit. And on that note, number 7 is to be aware of your belongings. Yes, you've made friends, but it's still only you who knows exactly what you have with you. You should know exactly where you keep all of your things, especially your valuables. I personally would suggest to never carry more than 2 bags. Perhaps, you know, a big backpack and then a little rucksack, and make sure all of your belongings can always fit into your luggage so it's always in the same place. Number 8 is to not be stupid. I like to think if you've managed to fly yourself into a foreign country by yourself, you have a little bit of common sense, so use it. Don't go wandering down dark alleyways at night. Don't flash your valuables for all to see. If you have a bad feeling about a place, a situation, a group of people, walk away. Don't get so drunk that you pass out. You can trust your new friends to a certain extent, but unlike your friends from home, you're not their responsibility. You cannot always guarantee that you're going to be looked after. So go have fun, but make sure you're always in a state where you can look after yourself. And this is my one big safety tip under one bridge, because I don't think it's fun or necessary to worry about every single little thing that you do when you're traveling solo. Obviously you hear about these bad things in the news and you don't want it to happen to you. I understand that, nobody does. But those things happen to people who are either extremely stupid, the situation was out of their control, or they were just extremely unfortunate. Don't set off thinking that these bad things are gonna happen to you. Just go have fun, but be sensible and just always use your gut instincts. Number 9 is for my female solo backpackers. Honestly, I don't think it's much different at all from being a male backpacker, but there are a few things to bear in mind. Don't dress too skimpy, this one's obvious. Regardless of what you wear, you're more likely to get catcalled or stared at as a girl. You've just got to ignore it. Don't start any arguments. You don't know who these people are, what they're capable of, who they're friends with. Just don't get involved. But obviously, the less revealing your clothes, the less likely you are to draw attention to yourself. Try not to share the information that you're traveling by yourself with people outside of your hostel. Other people don't need to know, and it makes you more vulnerable. They also don't need to know where you're staying for whatever reason they may ask that they make up. And if they ask if you have a boyfriend, yes, you have a boyfriend, and he's back there with all your friends in the shop next door. Do not give him or her the motive to follow you. I guess this can happen to group backpackers and male backpackers, but it is female solo backpackers who are the most vulnerable in situations like this. I was put in these situations multiple times a day in non-Western countries. It does happen all the time, but honestly, don't worry about it, just be aware of it. And number 10 is my favorite one, and that is to be the person that you want to be. You're traveling solo. Everyone is meeting you for the first time. Anything that you've done in the past is completely irrelevant. Introduce yourself and act as the person that you want to be. I always try to be the person that I would like to meet. I'm not religious, but you know, treating others as you would like to be treated sort of thing, and all that jazz. They say that traveling solo is when you find yourself, and as cliche as that is, I guess it's true. It's a time for a new beginning, to put yourself out of your comfort zone, do things you've never done before, be introduced to new cultures, new people, new experiences, and let it all influence you. Don't think of it as completely changing who you are. You're still you. Putting yourself outside of your comfort zone is a massive eye-opener, and it makes you more rounded and it improves you as a person. And on that positive note, that is it. Those are my top 10 tips for traveling solo for the first time, or if you've traveled solo before, just how to make the most of it. When I first went traveling with friends, I never dreamed that I would go by myself. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do that. I can't turn up on the complete other side of the world by myself. Are you crazy? But when you get somewhere, it's so much more relaxing than before you go when you're stressing, because you've got no idea what's going to happen. But when you arrive in a new place, if you just relax, don't expect anything, you know, don't expect to make friends straight away, like I said. If you just be appreciative that you're in this brand new country, which is awesome, and there's so much to explore, and you set out with the motive to just explore and try new things. Everything else just comes along with it. All the friends that you make, all the experiences that you have. And like I said, you know, take risks and have fun, but be sensible, and you're gonna have the best time of your life, and it's honestly just gonna be amazing. I have not met anyone who's gone traveling solo and regretted it. Even like people who never thought that they could do it. I really hope that this video has helped you. If you've been having doubts about going solo and you don't think you can do it, I hope I've convinced you a little bit. I'd love to think that these videos are actually inspiring people to go out and do things that they really want to do, but they're too scared. That is my motive for making these videos. I really hope you enjoyed it. If it did help you just a little bit, or just gave you some ideas, give it a thumbs up. If you have any video ideas that you want me to make, leave a comment below. I'm open to very new suggestions. I'm sorry I'm very slow at making the videos at the moment. I'm extremely busy. Currently, I have a full-time job, a part-time job, doing my YouTube at the same time, and it's just ever so busy, so the videos are coming out quite slow. But in the new year, oh my goodness, it's gonna be like bam, 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 videos all the time, I'm hoping. So make sure you're subscribed so you keep up to date with all the new videos that are going to be coming out. I hope you are all well and enjoying your lives at the moment, whether you're saving, whether you're traveling, whether you're just wanderlusting and researching. I think the next video is going to be another Central America update. I'm coming towards the end of those, and then we're going to get on to a bit of London and then a bit of Australia, which is so exciting. But yeah, whatever the next video is, I'll see you then. Bye!